you so much for joining me today. I am really excited to be here with you. I promise that this workshop is going to make some changes in your life and in your business and in your team. It is jam-packed full of information and actionable items that you can start implementing right away. So I hope you have your notepad. I hope you have your pen ready, because as you can tell, I talk very, very quickly. So there's a ton of information that I want to go over. So let's get started. So today I'm going to be talking about 5 simple ways on how to create systems that will elevate your team and your practice without having to spend countless hours developing them. Doesn't that sound amazing? I know this is going to make some changes in your lives. Well, I can't wait to get started. So here's a little quick introduction. My name is Samantha Leonard. I am the CEO and co-founder of Stream Dental HR. You're going to be hearing a little bit more about me later on, so I'm not going to waste too much time on this slide, but thanks again for joining me. Now, I'm not sure what motivated you to register for this webinar and be here with me today, but I want to reassure you that you made the right decision. You are in the right place if you're a dentist or an office manager and you're struggling to stay on top of that never-ending to-do list. You know that one that I'm talking about, where it starts off to be maybe 10, you get into the office and then people are surrounding you and have another 20 items that just gets thrown onto your list, or you're a firefighter and you're having to put out all of these fires every single day. And that leaves you feeling overwhelmed and underprepared when it comes time to running your team and your business. Or maybe you're sick and tired of having all of this employee turnover happen in your practice. All of that time you spent training and interviewing and doing reference checks on all of these candidates, only for them to leave so quickly after you hire them. And you're back at square one. It's so frustrating. Or maybe you're sick and tired of not having the proper training, manuals, or systems in place for your new hires. Or maybe you have a team that's disengaged and underperforming, which equals low productivity and lost revenue. If any of those resonate with you, then I'm really glad that you're here with me today. Because by the end of the training, you are going to feel so empowered and so motivated to make this your most successful year ever. So here are the things that we're going to be discussing. I'm going to show you how to reverse engineer your practice goals so that you can develop an action plan that is actually going to make this year your best year ever. I'm going to show you then how to develop those systems so that you can elevate your team and your practice, create those systems and processes so that you can duplicate it over and over and over again, and having the same results from everyone in your practice. And you'll also have an accountability system. I am also going to show you how to hire better, develop your team, and retain your dream team. Now, I can't wait to dive in, but this is a lot of information that we're going to go over, and there's some serious improvements that are headed your way. But if you are not open-minded, if you are not prepared to make the needed changes, if you are looking for a quick and easy way out of doing the work, maybe a magic wand or a special pill that you take that all of a sudden the next day is going to banish all of your problems and create all the solutions, if you find that, let me know. But I'm sorry, that doesn't exist. There is going to be a lot of hard work that's going to be involved in this. Or if you're going to be upset or offended when at the end of this presentation, I give you some resources and some tools to be able to help you reach the success that you want in your business, then maybe this training isn't for you. So you're probably asking yourself, this sounds nice and dandy, Samantha, but I really want to know, what are some of the free things that are waiting for me at the end? Or maybe what's the offer that you're going to be giving me? Well, here's a sneak peek. Like I said, there's so many things in this program, in this workshop, that I'm going to be talking about today. But the next thing is actually taking that information and doing it. So I created a special guide, your success action planner, so that you can actually reverse engineer it. You can break it down on what needs to happen every quarter, every month, every week, every day, so that you can take your business to the next level. And then also this fantastic new first of its kind human resource and learning management software called Stream HQ. Now, I don't want to dive into that just yet because the information and the tools that I'm going to be giving you is really going to help make Stream HQ your go-to, your headquarters for success. So you guys are probably wondering, who are you, Samantha? Why should I be listening to you? This stuff sounds fine and dandy, but how do you really know how to do this stuff? Well, I'm going to show you step by step on how having these systems and processes actually changed my life and our practice. So many of you maybe don't know that I actually started my career in dentistry over a dozen years ago. Yep, that's me in dental assisting school. And before I knew it, I found myself managing a startup practice. Now, to paint you a full picture, this is actually a satellite clinic. So Dr. Samdar, the owner, he only flew in 4 days a month. So he'd fly in to see patients and then he'd fly out at the end of the day. So that left me essentially building that practice from the ground up. So I was the marketer, I was the accountant, the treatment coordinator, the dental assistant, the IT person, like you name it, I did it. So here I was, a dental assistant by training, no formal education on how to run a business. Heck, all I knew was how to run the clinic, right? Like I was a dental assistant. I had no idea on how to properly recruit, train, and integrate a new staff member into our office. And oftentimes I looked like this guy. I was sitting in the corner of my office. I was crying. I was feeling overwhelmed because of all the high employee turnover that we were having. We had team members who, didn't know what they were responsible for. There was no formal way of communication. We had no established or clear outlines of our practice guidelines or expectations. And the list went on. It seemed like we were always in damage control mode and focused solely on the job at hand, not the big picture. I was so preoccupied on these day-to-day issues that I couldn't even focus on growing the practice. And that's a huge recipe for disaster. Just like the saying goes, if your business isn't growing, it's dying. And I felt completely responsible that our growth had been paralyzed because I felt like I was just spending so much time on these issues that I felt like I was letting my patient down. I was letting the team down. I was letting our practice down. I felt like I was going nowhere fast. And maybe that's something that you can relate to too. If you felt like this before, then you can understand how sick and tired I was feeling of being sick and tired, I was stressed, I was overwhelmed, I was running on little sleep. I realized that it was time to stop this madness. Like this isn't sustainable as a business or sustainable for a human being to be undergoing this. So I had to stop. I had to evaluate our business systems, our goals. I had to create some structure. And that's exactly what I did. So what we did is we actually had to reverse engineer our 5-year goals to determine what we needed to do now so that it can help us get to where we want to be. We started by determining who our dream team would look like, the personality traits, the skill sets, the experience, the values, the philosophies, who or what our office needed to take our practice from functioning to extraordinary. We developed a systematic way to recruit and hire top talent for our practice. And I am proud to say that these people are still happy, loyal team members to this day. We established a clear onboarding and integration method that helped our new hires understand exactly what's expected of them. They became efficient and effective members of our team in the shortest time possible. And we finally implemented an effective HR program, including job descriptions, employee handbooks, and much more. This was the biggest game changer. We created an ongoing open dialogue with our team. We had regular team meetings, quarterly performance reviews, and clarity retreats. Guys, we improved our office culture and our team morale, and I am so proud to say that we have a team that is committed and invested in providing top-notch service to our patients and growing our practice. So long story short, We were able to build that practice, that one office, this one that I'm standing in front of, that one office that was only 682 square feet. We only had 3 operatories. We saw the doctor was in only 4 days a month. We were able to grow that into a multi-million-dollar clinic. And then we expanded to 6 locations across the country. That sounds pretty amazing, doesn't it? Do you want similar results? Well, I can say that you can grow your practice and legacy too. See, our entire business and life changed the moment I chose to commit and take action to invest in developing these systems and processes once and for all. Now, if I can do it, someone who has a dental assistant background and little training and was thrown into learning everything on the job, so can you. I don't have a fancy MBA and I ain't no business guru. But even though I have built, acquired, and helped transition practices into multi-million-dollar companies, I still had to make mistakes and learn from them. And so can you. So what does your action plan look like and how can you get there? Well, first, there's a couple of things that you need to keep in mind. First, you need to get out of your own way. Okay, there's sometimes there's things that happen in your mind when we get so consumed with the goal and we get so overwhelmed with that big picture that we forget that there are so many baby steps that we need to take before we can actually reach that goal, before we can get to that final destination. You also want to avoid having analysis by paralysis because there's so much great information out there. One information is going to tell you to use this program. One information is going to tell you to use that system. One information is going to tell you to spend $25,000 on this. Don't get too consumed in all of the details because perfectionism is your enemy. First, you need to start with your action plan. Okay, and then this is our roadmap. We need to figure out where we want to go. So breaking it down, we need to start by goal setting. We need to have an audit. We need to develop our systems, action plan. We need to we need to systemize it. And then finally, automation. And that's what's going to help reach our goal. So for our goals, just like Stephen Covey said, you want to start with the end in mind. It means that you need to start with a clear understanding of your destination. It means you need to know where you're going so that you can better understand where you are now, and the steps that you need to take are always going to be in the right direction. Then we want to do an audit. We need to review our current systems to see what are some leaking pipes that exist in our practice. What is making us veer off of this path from achieving our goals and attaining those results? Then we need to develop the steps. What are some things that we need to take so that we can actually make this goal a reality? What can you do today that will get you one step closer to where you want to be and see your practice make those achievable goals? And action, just like Tony Robbins put it best by saying the path to success is to take massive action. And I'm going to show you how to break your goals down into actionable items so that you're working towards something every single day. Then you want to systematize. So once you have all these action items, the next step is to create those 6 systems in the workflow so that it can actually happen and you can hold yourself and your team accountable. Because a goal without a plan is just a wish. And you know what? I am done wishing. I am done with the hoping and praying. You have to take action and create those systems. And the last but most important thing is automation, because this is what's going to kick your business into high gear. It's going to turn your company into a well-oiled machine, and you're going to have to wait until the end of the webinar so I can show you how you can automate all of these things. So these 6 steps are what will free your time up so you can go back into being a dentist and growing your business, scaling your business. Now, I know you probably want to jump all the way to the end, show me how to automate, show me how to do this, but you know what? When you build a house, you start with the foundation first, right? Not the roof. So you can't skip ahead because it's going to compromise your results. So step 1, let's get diving in. So goal setting. So we are going to start by doing a fun exercise and do a little bit of time travel. Now, I know that sounds really weird, okay? Time traveling, that doesn't exist. That's maybe just in Back to the Future, but not that kind of time travel, okay? But I want you to close your eyes. I want you to take a deep breath. And I want you to jump ahead, time travel, to 5 years from now. What would that look like for your practice? Were you finally able to expand into that second location or add that additional operatory in your clinic? Were you finally able to add an associate or bring in a specialist to help increase your revenue? How much money do you want to be making and producing? So once you see that, once you feel that, let's break it down. So what are your production goals? What about efficiency? Are you able to save some time? Are you able to find different ways on how you can cut that time in half? Because after all, time is money, right? So the more time that you spend micromanaging, the more time it takes away from growing your practice. So what about your conversion rate? Maybe you want to improve the office culture or team morale. So now that you have those goals in mind, let's reverse engineer that. Okay, so anyone can set goals, but achieving them actually requires more than just wishing. It requires work. And so many people never even start on their goals simply because they don't know where to start. So the goal seems to be so overwhelming that you end up procrastinating on taking the first step, and eventually you give up altogether. But that doesn't have to happen. You can actually achieve any goal that you set just by mastering this one simple process: reverse engineering. So this means that you need to break down your goal into bite-sized pieces that you can tackle every day. And once you reverse engineer your goal, you'll be able to know exactly what you need to do to achieve it. And you know what? Gosh darn it, you will. Okay? You need to start by setting your big, hairy, audacious goals. So these goals should be so big that it's even too scary for you to say. You don't even want to say it out loud because it stretches you out of your comfort zone. But those goals, guys, those are the ones that are worth chasing. So the next thing that you need to do is do some research. It all starts here with research, okay? I'm a fact finder. I like to be able to know exactly what's involved in each of those steps so that I have the tools, I have the resources, and I can just hit the ground running. Research is what's going to help, is what's going to take, what I'm trying to say is research is what's going to really help you accomplish your goal. So you can break it down and say, so what are the things that I need to do to accomplish this first step? What do I need to know? What does it take? What skill do I need? What experts can I talk to that will help give me insights? Who can I look to, or who can I have as a support system to help me get there faster? Maybe you need a mentor. And the last thing that you need to do is do a brain dump. So you need to brainstorm these tasks and make a list of every possible thing that you must do to achieve your goal. And then break those tasks into smaller steps, bite-sized pieces work, right? That's saying you can eat an elephant. You can eat an elephant one bite at a time. But when you look at that elephant, you're like, oh my gosh, that's a huge elephant. That's like 10 times my size. How am I going to possibly do that? You can't do it in one bite, but you can do it one bite at a time. So let's start now. Let's take the first action. So what systems and structures do you have in place now? Identify what will help you reach your goals and see what's holding you back. Let's go back to those goals that we were looking at initially. Okay, so maybe we were thinking about a production goal. So do you have a profit and loss report that you analyze every single month? Do you have budgets? Do you have production goals that you've broken it down to quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily? Because if you're just looking at $100,000, but if you're not looking at what money's going out, what money needs to come in, you're not going to be able to reach that. Okay? What about efficiency? To make your practice run smoothly and on time and have your team know what's expected of them with every single procedure or appointment, ask yourself, do I have the training manuals? Have I given them the training and the resources so that they can be successful? If not, guys, I'm telling you this right now, that is the bottleneck. That is what's holding your team back. Or maybe you're looking at increasing your conversion rates. So do you have follow-up systems? Do you have scripts, trainings, so that your treatment coordinators and your entire team are able to build value and help patients see the importance of moving forward with the recommended treatment? Do you have KPIs in place so that your TC and your team can identify what are the goals that I need to be reaching this month? How many patients do I need to be seeing? How many patients do I need to be converting? How many follow-ups do I need to do? How many people am I away from reaching this goal? If not, guys, you are letting that money walk out the door. All of that money that you spent on marketing to bring that patient in, when they don't go ahead with treatment, that money is just walking right out that door saying, bye-bye. You don't want that. I don't want that for you. And the last thing is if you're looking to improve your office culture and motivate your team, do you have a strategic hiring protocol in place so that you're finding and hiring only the best? Do you have job descriptions for your new hire to understand exactly what's expected of them and what they're responsible for? Do you have a training program? Do you have training schedules so that your team understands how to do things the way that you want them to be done and understand the reasoning behind it? Do you have performance reviews and goal settings with your team? Guys, if you said no, then it's time to put these systems in place, which brings me to step number 3. So you've identified the direction that you want to take your practice. So what systems need to be implemented now? How are you going to make this happen? Now, it's time for you to have a team meeting. Yes. In order for you to make these goals a reality, you need to involve your team. You need to get their buy-in. They need to understand the what, why, when, and how of everything. So when you're describing the what, it's breaking it down into the business goals. What are the things that you want to achieve? Show them monthly, quarterly, weekly, yearly. The why, like what is this driving force? What are the things that are important for you and for the business and for your patients and most of all for them? Because at the end of the day, we're all humans and we are kind of selfish and we want to know what's in it for me, right? So not only are they pushing this for the greater good, for an impact in the patient's lives, impacting the business, but also they need to impact their family and their lives. You need to discuss the when. Break it down. When are these things what are these goals, but when do we want to achieve them? And then how? So you guys are brainstorming this together to see what systems need to be implemented so that you can reach your goals and then delegate it so that people understand what they're responsible for and create these deadlines so that they're actually making these things happen. So, for example, I'm going to show you in real time how you're going to do this. So let's say that your big, hairy, audacious goal is maybe for 40% or 50% more production this year than you did last year. So what is your why? Is it because you want to take them on a fun team building event, or maybe you want to reinvest this capital into opening up a second location? Let your team know the why so that they can drink the Kool-Aid and get on board. You need their buy-in. They need to be stakeholders in the practice and in the business too. So the next step is to break it down. So if I need to increase by 50%, what do I need to do? What does this translate to quarterly, monthly, weekly, or daily in my production? And then when? When do I want this to be accomplished by? Maybe you want this to happen by the end of 2020 or by the end of the quarter. And how are we going to make this happen? Is it that maybe you need to focus on pending treatments and recalls, or maybe more marketing, or maybe focusing on same day starts or lowering your AR? It's figuring out what are those things and then breaking it down into so that you can create the systems and implement them into your practice so that they can focus on these items. You need to prepare for success. It ain't going to be easy. It's going to take time. It's going to be hard work. But I tell you, when you reach that goal of doing 50% of more production and more revenue, you're going to be damn well happy that you did that, right? All that blood, sweat, and tears is going to be well worth it. I'm going to show you how you can create these systems in less time than you think. I'm going to show you my 3 time-saving hacks to create systems that will make your office run like a well-oiled machine. So here's a moment that you've been all waiting for. It's the action step. It's writing, it's recording, it's creating systems. It no longer looks like this. It's no longer going to be stacks and stacks of those ugly binders, guys. Nobody reads those things anymore. The way that we communicate and digest information is not like this. And by the time you finish putting that together, putting all of those binders, guess what? Those systems are outdated. So that's gone. That's out of there. It's not going to take you days. It's not going to take you weeks. It's not going to take you months to develop. I want to share you with a quick story about our client, Dr. Carla. So Carla had hired a new receptionist, and since she was starting out, she was starting her practice, she had to do all of the training on her own. So Dr. Carla, instead of her returning back to her office to work on a new marketing campaign, she had to jump up to the reception desk so that she could train this new receptionist on how to run the front office. She spent so much time training this receptionist. And you know what? She ended up finding that it was so much easier for her to book her own patients, for her to process her own AR, for her to do the insurance claims all on her own. The list went on. And we calculated that Dr. Carla had on a 2-week period, had spent over 40 hours training her receptionist. Instead of acting like a CEO and using those 40 hours to grow her business, she was basically a glorified receptionist, right? No wonder her business was stagnant. Carla just couldn't seem to get on top of her HR management. She kept on putting off creating manuals and videos until it was time for her to need a new employee. But by that time, she was already understaffed and out of time. So the only other option was for her to personally train these employees on her own. Being reactive was costing Dr. Carla so much more than just time. So it was time for her to finally be proactive. These hacks that I'm about to show you helped Dr. Carla create her training manuals, her videos. She was able to upload them into one centralized hub, which is what we will talk about at the end of this presentation. She would never have to personally train a receptionist or another team member in her practice ever again. And just like that, Carla got 40 hours of her time back. And I'm about to make you a believer of this too. So I'm going to show you how we can take this and actually apply it with one of the goals that we discussed earlier and show you just how easy it is. So our goal we had was we wanted to improve efficiencies. So that means that maybe there were some certain systems in our practice that were, certain things were falling through the cracks. Maybe there was some clinical team who needed to know exactly what was expected of them. So having a proper setup, great communication, or maybe educating a patient. This is the first hack that we're going to do. So step 1 and hack 1 is to use your smartphone and take a picture of the tray setup for a root canal procedure. So now I'm sure you guys are probably thinking, okay, these dental assistants should already know what my tray setup should be. Why do I need to teach them, or why do I have to show them what needs to happen? So here's why. I'm actually on the board as a key opinion leader for all of the dental assistant programs here locally in Calgary. And I can tell you firsthand that their textbooks are at least 15 years behind our times. Many do not teach about the latest advancements in software technology. They're still teaching them how to process x-rays in the dark room, guys. So don't be so quick to judge. Besides, if they came from another practice, that dentist probably had their own way of doing things. So let's avoid the frustration, the awkward conversations right now by clearly outlining what you expect for their instrument setups and for this appointment. Next is to either create a cheat sheet or record a video of you explaining why you like those instruments. And it's also going to help with this procedure, right? So this is probably the missing link that they need to help them understand why you do things differently than what was taught in school, or why you're using that instrument over what their last employer did. See, when they understand this, it will also help them better explain the treatment to the patients and answer any question those patients have about this procedure. So step number 2 and hack number 2 is to create a workflow using Lucidcharts. See, you can literally map out step by step from the beginning to the end of how that appointment should flow. It will optimize the process. It'll increase efficiency, and it's a great tool to clearly outline exactly what's involved for your new hire. So it will take the guesswork of what should happen next. And the best part, guys, it's free. Yes, this is a no-brainer. You know, I used this back in my days as an operational manager for the group practice that I was managing. We use this for documenting systems and processes, but this was also a great organizational chart. And I use this for my business too. It has gotten my team and my new hires to understand the flow, who's responsible for what happens next. It will also help you take a step back from micromanaging and from having to repeat yourself over and over again. This is basically taking everything out of your brain of how you want things done and mapping it out. Step number 3, get that smartphone right back out. Take a video of the procedure and actually explain the why and the how. So again, this is going to reduce you having to do this over and over with every single new hire. It's one of those one and done steps. You know, you record the procedure from the beginning to the end, the room setup, how to take it down, what you would like to see happen when the patient walks into the room, what steps you would like for them to do before you personally as a dentist walk in and sit down. You know, things like you want to have them sitting back into the chair, you already want the bib on, you want the glasses on, or maybe what are the pre-op instructions that you would like for them to go over with the patient, what information that you would like to have prepared for you. Go through the entire procedure. Can you not see how amazing this is? Isn't this way better than all writing it down and making your hire read this? It's boring, and half of that information isn't going to be retained. Our day and age right now is we look at YouTube for everything. If I want to learn how to be able to put an IKEA desk together, I'm not reading that instruction manual. I'm going to YouTube and I'm looking it up so that I can follow it step by step. That's how we're retaining information. So why aren't we doing the same thing for our practice? Guys, after the team member has read the workflow, they can actually see this take place in real life and see what your expectations are. This is going to help better prepare that new hire so when they start doing the procedure themselves, they're feeling comfortable, right? They have the orientation, they understand the flow, the lay of the land, and then you can just continue building off of that and coach them. Isn't that much better than throwing your new hire into the deep end and they're nervous and already they don't know what you want, they don't know what you expect next. You're getting frustrated, they're feeling frustrated, they can't read your mind. This is going to dramatically change your onboarding and training program. It's going to set your new hire, your team, and your patients up for success. So step number 4, write out the pre and post-op instructions so that you can have this as a go-to resource so that they can understand what information needs to be over, right? Needs to be said, I should say. They've already saw the video on how and the why. So now they have this information better equipped to explain the value of treatment and answer any questions that the patients may have. The last step and most important is accountability. Let's say after every root canal appointment, you want this employee to do a care call or to write a handwritten care note to the patient. Well, have a checklist, have a spreadsheet, so in that way they are writing down who they called and when they called. They can give this to you at the end of the day or the end of the week, so in that way they're being held accountable for actually making these things happen. You can include other items on the checklist, but this is just a great way to build a good habit for your new employee. Doesn't this seem like much more effective and an efficient way to set your new hire up for success? Not only do they know what's expected of them, but there's actually an accountability process so that they're actually doing these things. You're not repeating yourself over and over. This new hire is developing those good habits right from day one. So use this tool, document this, and it's going to help with your performance reviews too. But guys, this saves you so much time. Your new hire can watch these videos, review these systems before day one, and that will make day two even more productive. Plus, you won't have to spend so much time with your team and training them and documenting and writing it out. This is all recorded. This is a one and done system. So let's look at a second example so that I can show you hack number 3. So maybe your goal was to improve productions, which means, converting more patients. It means improving your collections. It means that they need to be able to understand how to utilize the practice management system and insurance and understand the ins and outs of that. So in that way, money isn't walking out of the door. Or maybe you want to provide a better customer service experience because they're writing more reviews, which gives you more social proof, which will help bring in new patients. You have happy patients who are then going to start referring to you, right? So these are very, very important things. And I think everybody should have this goal. But now it's time to break it down to see how we can do it. So first things first, you want to create a new workflow. Remember Lucidcharts. That's going to map out from the beginning to the end of what you want to happen in that appointment or what your new patient flow should look like. Then create the scripts or samples of how your team should be answering the phone and scheduling these appointments. And this can be done with one click of a button. No need to write these things out step by step. No need to do screenshots here, screenshots there, screenshots everywhere, cut and paste. No. That's it. That time-consuming madness is done. That was like so 2017. Let me introduce you to your newest best friend. Hack number 3, Loom. Loom is another free resource that you can use, and with one click of a button, it actually will begin recording your screen. It can even turn on your webcam and your mic so that you can record yourself talk. You can show your team member how to enter in a new patient, how to make sure that they're putting in the right insurance information, how to verify insurance, how to check patients in and out, how to pull up reports, everything, guys. As soon as you're done recording, within minutes, it's going to save that video to your Loom account, and you can create a shareable link, or better yet, you can download those videos. Voila. You just got your time back, and you've developed a plethora of training programs and resources to help your new and existing team so that they can do things properly. I can feel that sigh of relief from here. I'm sure you guys can see now the benefits of this. But this is so much easier. Doesn't it just seem like that all of that pressure off your shoulders of how much time it's going to take for you to do that? That's gone. There's no more excuses that you don't have enough time. You cannot afford not to do this. It's literally only going to cost you one click of a button to begin recording what you are going to do anyways. So the last step is the accountability. So you need to create a checklist to ensure that all of these steps are being completed. Did they collect payment? Did they pre-book the patient? Did they ask for a review? This is what will make sure that they're getting into good habits, but also that these things that need to be done to drive your business forward are actually happening. Are you guys believers now? This stuff works. Are you ready? Are you excited to go and just start working on this stuff, all these systems, the training, the development programs right away? Now, having a system is fantastic, but it will only get you so far if you don't have the right accountability systems in place. A culture of accountability makes a good organization great and a great organization unstoppable. This does not mean micromanaging, but it's a great way to coach and empower your team. But it also makes sure that these things are actually happening and everybody's on track. It inspires open, proactive communication to keep your team on board and have them working together. Now, I want to try this point home to show you how this can help. Why you should be stop putting this off now so you can finally reach your goals for this year. Remember, stop standing in your own way. Are you going to be able to make sure that these things are happening, right? You need to be able to have those job descriptions, the clear outlines, the roles and responsibilities. You want to have those key performance indicators. See what gets tracked, what gets measured will actually get tracked and happen. So if you guys are walking around blindly and not knowing the direction of what you need to do or your compass to show you that you're in the right direction or not, it's not going to happen. You need to create those training manuals, those videos, those resources, those checklists, the sample scripts. All of these things are really going to help your team get set up for success. And then having regular performance reviews. Now, if you guys don't have these things, this is what's going to continue happening. That vicious cycle that we talked about. Are you this statistic? Do you know what's fueling this vicious cycle? It's lack of systems. Training, development programs, and outlining your clear expectations and accountability. So what can be done? Well, first, this is going to help you when it comes to hiring. You need to understand what's involved in this position. So in that way, you can find out if that person has the right skills, the right qualifications, or if you need to train them so that they are capable and able to do that job. Then you need to develop the systems. Have clear expectations, right? Remember that screen before, job descriptions, employee handbooks, have your training systems, those resources, so that you're empowering your new team members to be successful in their position. And retention, that requires open communication and accountability systems so that you're engaging, you're empowering your team, and you're driving your business forward and helping everybody reach their goals, even your team reach their personal and professional goals. Okay. So let's do a quick summary of the things that we learned, right? So we did the 5 systems. So we figured out how to reverse engineer. What are some of the goals that you need to create? What are some of the systems that need to be tweaked in your practice? What are some of those leaking pipes that are causing you to veer off track? What are some of the things that you can develop, right? Those systems, those structures, those resources, and then going out there, developing them and taking action, and then having the accountability system. And now we're going to be talking about automation. So when I'm talking about automation, I'm not talking about robots taking over the world, but I am talking about putting certain systems on autopilot. So let's step back and use this as an analogy. So for example, a way that we've automated things in our practice is, automating those things that are repetitious, that are time consuming, like confirmations, for example. Instead of you having your admin team calling all of your patients on your schedule, now they automatically get text messages. They'll get calls. They'll get email appointment reminders. That's a huge time saver, right? So what if you were able to organize, systematize, and automate your hiring, training, and human resources? What if all of those systems and hacks that I showed you could all be organized and systematized and automated? Would you guys be interested in using that? How would it help you? Do you remember Dr. Carla? Remember how much time she was spending on training every single new hire? Well, it saved her 40 hours of her time. So let's do the math. So for example, let's say that you hired 4 team members this year. That translates to 160 hours. Now that's just for training. That doesn't take into account the hours you spent finding, pre-screening, interviewing them, which is probably another 40 hours, I would say. So now you're up to 320 hours. So if there's 8 hours a day and you only work, and so there's 8 hours a day, and then you divide that by 320 hours, that's 40 days, 40 days just for hiring and training your team. So this is going to help you save time. It's going to help you be consistent so every team member gets those great habits instilled in them from day one, and you have accountability and expectations. So automating this is going to help you save 40 days a year. 40 days a year. Like, that is mind-blowing. Now, I'm sure your brain is spinning with all of those numbers, but what would happen if you didn't create those systems or automate this? What would happen if you did nothing? If you kept on doing the same old things, right? You keep on getting those same old results. You keep feeling frustrated, or even worse, you'd burn out, you'd lose passion, you'd lose your drive for your professionalism, your livelihood. You would have stress consume you and continue robbing your precious time away from being a CEO and from your family and your sanity, right? It's overwhelm, it's burnout. Do you want to keep on this path and just have it get progressively worse year over year? I'm sure you don't want that. And I'm not sure why you showed up today. Like I said, maybe you're frustrated. Maybe you're frustrated with all of those hours. Maybe the low productivity, the disengaged team members, the high employee turnovers. You're frustrated that you weren't able to reach those goals because of all those things that you had to deal with. Or it could be that you maybe are at your breaking point right now, and you can't take one more year like this ever again. Or maybe you've heard all of the buzz and the excitement of other people who have had some amazing success when they're working with us, and you wanted to see what it would be like. Could it work for you? Or perhaps you were just bored and you know what? You just wanted to hang out with me. That's cool. I appreciate it. Thank you. But it's your time. It's your time to no longer be drowning under a mountain of paperwork that barely makes sense to you, or have a team that can't work together. You know what? It's your time for have everybody on the same page, working like a charm, so that you can be able to actually take an extended coffee break, or maybe even take a day off here and there, or to go back to focusing on what you love, which is creating smiles and changing patients' lives. Or maybe you want to be able to have time where you can enjoy every single appointment again, to really focus on each patient and develop those relationships and have fun and love what you do. Or maybe you want to be able to have more patients move ahead with treatment and tell their friends about your practice. It's your time to finally have peace of mind, stability, and structure. And please remember, nothing that I've shared to you today is just theory or fluff that maybe might work for you. This is exactly what I've done with the practices that I've managed, and what I've done to be able to help hundreds of clients across Canada and the US to achieve peace of mind and growth in their business by developing their HR and their training systems. It doesn't matter if you're a new startup or you're an established practice, or you have 1 or maybe 10 or 20, 30, 40, 50 practices. It's all about taking baby steps and taking actions right now. If there's one thing that I want you to take away, is that I've literally cracked the code on how to hack and how to create these effective systems that are going to elevate your team and your practice. I've done it for myself, and I've done it for hundreds of other practices. It's going to work for you. And it has literally changed my world, our clients' worlds. It's a replicable system that you can apply, and it is proven by the success of our clients. And you can make a lot of money doing this and transforming yourself, your business, and your team. So the obvious question is, how can you apply these systems to hire, develop, and retain top talent for your dental practice? So you have 2 choices. You can do it the slow way. You can do trial and error. You can make some major mistakes, or you can take the tools and the resources that I walked through today and apply it and automate it by using StreamHQ, and you can get there much quicker. You can get there faster, and you can get there as a team and maybe even surpass those goals. So what is StreamHQ? How is it going to transform your business? Well, the first ever human resource and learning management system created specifically for dentists, And I believe that if you've been on this webinar and this workshop for up to this point, you have what it takes to excel and to succeed. And this is something that you want to be able to actually achieve and help you reach your goals for this year and for many years to come. So, what is Stream HQ? Stream HQ is your new headquarters for success. It streamlines and automates your hiring, your training, your team management process. It's the first of its kind human resource and learning management system. It's going to take care of the administrative work, the organization, so that you can save time. It makes HR easy again, so you can focus on being a dentist. So what exactly is it? So Stream HQ is a digital employee file. You know what? You guys got rid of those paper charts for a reason. So why do you still have those bulky filing cabinets full of employee files when you can finally go digital with our secure cloud-based platform? It's a learning management system. It's a better way to onboard and integrate your new hire. You can basically upload all of your training manuals, your videos, your scripts, those checklists, all the things that we talked about today, put it all in one centralized hub, and then you can automate it. So in that way, you can assign it to your new hires, to your current team members. So in that way, they can absorb the information and you can get your time back from having to repeat yourself over and over and over again. It's a time management program, so you can know who's on and who's off. It's going to keep track of vacation days, sick days, and more. Your entire team can actually request time off in one easy step. It's also a project management system. So if you have any new memos, any new policies, any new training that you want your team to go over, you can track that progress. You can set reminders. You can get signatures with one simple click, and then it all gets tracked in their employee file. So isn't that amazing? And I want to help you guys get started on this journey where everyone on your team is on the same page moving forward together. So we created a special offer for you today. In fact, it's a limited time. It's an exclusive offer that is only going to be available for the next few days. So you're probably asking, like, why is it only a few days? Well, consider this the push that you need to finally get you started to create the life that you want, the business you want, the office culture you desire and deserve. So what do you get? So with today's offer, you're going to get our action planner. You're going to get our HR starter kit. So maybe you don't have any HR systems right now. I'm going to give you 20 plus documents that are easy to use, that you can go in and actually start implementing it and creating your HR systems and your program. You're going to get a free HR strategy session with me so we can walk through your goals. What are the systems that you have right now? What are the things that are holding you back? What are some of the things that are challenging for you that's preventing you from reaching your goals? And how can we develop those systems for you so you can actually make those happen? When you get Stream HQ, you're also going to have dozens of training videos and resources so that you can actually create these systems. Remember Dr. Carla? She's going to do the same thing for you. We're going to save you 40 hours for every single new hire. You get that time back. And then coming soon, this program is going to be so robust. We're going to have a background check, workshops, job boards, payroll even. So what does your action planner look like? So like I said, it's basically going to help you achieve all of the things that you need so that this year you can reach your goals. So we're going to reverse engineer it. So there's a spot where you can do your brain dump, discuss all the things that you want, take everything out of your head, and then break it down. What are things that need to happen this quarter? What are things that need to happen this month, this week? And then at the end of every month, you can actually do a review and see what are the things that went wrong? What are some of the challenges? What am I going to do differently next month? So you're being proactive. Another thing is our 20 HR documents. So you're going to get everything from job descriptions. We're going to give you interview questions. We're going to give you guides on how you can create your onboarding and integration program. All of these great tools that are going to be that foundation, the things that are going to help kickstart your human resource program. So are you ready to take your team and your business to the next level? Now I'm going to show you quickly here on how Stream HQ works. So you're looking the insides here. This is your employee directory. So this is Chandler Bing. He owns 3 practices. And we're going to check out Ross Geller, who's actually his associate dentist for his one location called NY Mets Dental. So you can see here that I can see his personal, his emergency contact, his job, but also the time management system. So this is where I can track. Ross has, so many hours every single year of vacation time. So I can input that in there. So let's say we have 40 hours. Then anytime that Ross goes into his employee portal to request, you approve it, it's going to track that, and it's going to show you how many remaining hours are left. So no more calculators, no more having to try to figure out how many days you've already approved off. All of his documents that he has brought to you, the important ones like the copy of his license, his payroll information, but anything that you assign through StreamHQ and he signs off on, it's saved in here. Your notes, this is going to help you keep track of any instances, any write-ups, anything like that. This is your HR library. This is where you can store your centralized HR documents. The nice thing is super easy. I create a folder. So let's say I have a new 2019 updated policy that I want to send off to everybody. So I'll go ahead there, click upload my documents, and then I want to assign it to a team member. So I go ahead and I press add task. I can select what type of task I want to assign. So I'm doing a document. Then it's going to allow me, do I want to send it out to all of the employees or do I want to send it out to just one team member? Then I go into folders. I find the document that I want. Specifically, there's a new dress code memo. I tell, let's go back. We're going to give this to Janice. So maybe Janice needs a little bit of support and reminder about improving her dress code and keeping up with that. So let's give her a due date. We're going to let her know what we want her to do. We're going to give her a description of what has to happen. And then since we want her to digitally sign off on this, we just want to go ahead and make sure that we click on that digital signature required. Thank you, Chandler. There we go. And it's simple, add task. Done. So now that's been sent off to Janice. She's going to get a notification right away saying that Chandler Bing wants her to review this new policy. And then once you go into your inbox, this is actually as an administrator, so an office manager, an owner, you'll be able to see all of the tasks that you've assigned to your team members. And guess what? It's automatically going to notify them 3, 2, 1 days before they're due. And then as soon as they electronically sign off on it or the training that they're done, they mark it as complete, it's going to be automatically saved to their employee file. Automation at its finest. Okay, so here's the training program. So this is essentially your e-learning course. So here's the training. There's different modules that we want to create. So the first one is really important. The first step really about insurance is how to verify insurance. So I've uploaded my video. So if I assign this to Janice, she's watching this, okay, yeah. So step 1, I press that button. This is the description that I need to do for this training. Here's the checklist that I need to also download and do. So once she's done that, mark is complete. It gets saved in her employee file. So if you ever need to do any performance reviews in the future because she's not actually doing that step properly, you have documentation. I gave you the training. I gave you the support. Here's the written warning. You've left that in her notes. And then you have a development program. You've uploaded that into her documents. And if she's still not improving, then you have everything saved. You're compliant. You're organized. You saved yourself on all this HR administration. This is all done in StreamHQ. So guys, can you see how much this is going to save you? All this time, all of this energy, and not being compliant with these important, crucial elements. So I hope you guys can see. Oh, I don't want to replay that. There we go. Let's keep going. So now you're probably like, oh my God, that's amazing. Like, okay, what's the next step? What's the investment? So the total value of everything that we discussed. So we have the 20 HR documents. We have the success guys, we have the training resources that are going to be in StreamHQ already. You have the actual program. The total value is $14,735. Now, you guys can get all of this starting from $97 a month. Only $97 for you to get started right now, for you to make those changes, for you to be one step closer so that you can actually make this goal a reality. So what you're going to do is there's a little button right underneath this video. click that and it's going to help get you started. But if you are like, you know what, I need a little bit more information, I'm not too sure, I've never worked with you before, Samantha, this is what our clients are saying. So Dr. Glenn Vo, he's a very, very successful dentist in Texas. He actually is he's the owner of the Nifty Thrifty Dentist Facebook group. You guys should definitely take a look at that, listen to his podcast. He's going to show you ways on how you can improve your practice and save money. We have the Nifty Thrifty Deal of Approval. He loves Stream HQ. He says that it helps him make his practice run so much easier. Dr. Patel, she's a new startup. She has a beautiful practice, a pediatric practice down in Vieira, Florida. She said she felt so overwhelmed with all of the unknowns of HR, but because of Stream HQ, it made being a dentist so much easier. And Dr. Zishan, has a successful practice in Toronto. He said that Stream Dental HR is an essential part of our practice's success. So please take advantage of this offer because we are giving you all the tools so that you can get started, make your dream life, make your dream practice, make your dream team a reality, just starting from $97 a month. You cannot afford to postpone this anymore. So you guys are probably wondering, maybe some of the questions that I have here. So who is Stream HQ used for? So Stream HQ is designed to actually help dentists and office managers really get their time back. Whether you're a startup or you're an established practice or you're a group office, if you're struggling to stay on top of documenting and training and delegating, then you need Stream HQ. So is it really hard to use? Well, you guys saw that video. Super easy. A couple clicks of the button, assign it to a team member or upload documents or, send it out to the entire team. It's so easy. We designed it so that it can be simple and it can really streamline and automate your team and your practice. So maybe you're asking, okay, well, I see it. I see the value. I want to do this, but I don't have the systems right now. Well, we have given you tons of tutorial videos and additional resources to help you develop your systems with ease. We've also have a very special service, not only that we can offer you, but we also have special partnerships that can help get you started. Okay, another question I have here is, can I host media on Stream HQ? Well, you guys saw that I have a video there. So yes, you can upload anything from PDF documents to videos to PowerPoint presentations, basically all of the things and files that you need to be able to create your e-learning course. So I have a question here. So does it cost me extra to add a team member? So yes, so starting at $97 a month. So that is our startup plan. So if you have less than 5 employees, then that's going to be $97 a month. Let's say you're growing, which is amazing, and you have a 6th employee, then that would be bumped up into our next tier. So you would need to upgrade, and that next package runs from $149 a month. So, this is a good question. So is Stream HQ safe and secure to use? Well, absolutely. So Stream HQ is actually totally secure, and only your team members who you assign as users can actually access your company content. So if someone leaves the company, it's great and easy way for you to terminate them, to remove them from your system, and each user can be assigned different roles based on their permission. So all of our data is stored in a HIPAA compliant server. It's dedicated specifically just for Stream HQ. If the database is encrypted, in motion, and at rest, and it's backed up every single day. And you'll notice too that it times out. So it wants to make sure that if you walk away from your computer, if you got called in to see a patient, or if there's an emergency, if you accidentally leave your computer screen up, it's going to time out on you. Okay, so can I cancel my subscription? Yes. So if you would like to cancel your subscription, you can do so at any time. Canceling your plan comes into effect immediately, but it is your responsibility to make sure that you transfer and download all of the information, the employee files, the trainings, the documents, anything that you've uploaded. That's your responsibility to remove. So you don't want to lose all of that data. So how do I get started? I love it. You're a go-getter. I love that. You're going to be perfect for this program. So there's a little button underneath the screen here that says buy now. So basically click on that. It'll help you go to our sales page. So in that way you can select which tier program fits your practice and you can go ahead and sign up. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. But I really hope you take advantage of this limited time offer. So thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you were able to take that information and apply it and really drive your business forward. I wish you all the success in the world.